all of that. That makes us a kind of a magnet for energies. Now, for people who are really empath, they feel it. They feel it in their mind. They feel it in their heart. Their heart is reaching out to them, and they think, "Oh, I don't want them to suffer for them." See, I can understand for the child, mother for mother, it is inevitable. But in that scenario, mother does not pick up the child's karma because it's the bond is very different. But I'm just going and I'm feeling pity for everyone, not understanding that, what I am doing at the back, I am coming between the karma. I've always given this example in the classes that this is the person, this is their karma story, and I'm coming and standing in front of me. I have learned it a hard way. I feel in initial days, I used to feel so much for every of my client, and then I was taught a lesson like that. I have spoken about that. So that's when you realize that हमारा intention और हमारे words are very, very powerful. So if you are thinking that, oh, probably I can help them and I can take it, you are inviting that. Whether you invite it the next day or after 3 months, the universe will decide, but that is really true. So I'm not saying that we don't sympathize with others or we don't show them mercy or we become very disconnected with other human beings. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just simply saying that we become very conscious of what we are thinking, what we are absorbing. Yes, Koeli.
Sorry. Hi, Vinita. You made a comment about 5 minutes ago. In energy field is usually not weak, but depends upon how we react and stuff like that, right? So my question is, when a child is born, right? Because they are carrying the past life and whatever karma and stuff like that.
Is it my network or yours? Koeli, your voice is breaking. Just give me a minute. I think it's my network.
How are the auras usually? Everybody is given over the years, of course. Hello?
Is it my network?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Tell me. Please repeat.
It
I
was
couldn't
your.
hear anything.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Okay. So when a child is born, how the aura. Benita?
I'm
Benita, can
here.
you hear me?
I am here.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Okay, okay. So my question is third time, trying third time. Okay. When a child is born, what kind of an aura would he or she carry? Because there has to be a past life baggage or like a goodies or whatever. And of course, we understand over the time, whatever the traumas or things they will have. So how would you define that?
Okay, I'll come to that. But before that, you just referred to one of my comment. Can you repeat that? What was the comment that I made?
You said energy field is usually not very weak, but depends upon how we react. It is dynamic in that effect.
Yeah. So it's usually not weak if you are taking care of it. I would like to add to that comment. And going back to your question, children's aura is definitely very weak. They are very vulnerable. So we have heard about the evil eye, nazar, and we protect them with that nazar pattu. We put the kala tika. These practices are for real because children's aura is still developing. Okay, so it's still not developed. That is why in Indian culture, without fail, we will put Chandika Kada, we'll put those black beads, we'll, put them those Kala Tika and make sure that, in the functions, they are not, we don't pass them around in many people's hand because they pick up the energy. And if you will see that when they go to the crowded place, most of the time, either after they have come back, the small children I'm talking about, not like 5, 7 years old or something, they are either sleeping, they fall sick because their aura is very, very weak. So we have a custom of removing nazar for small children every evening because they are still becoming stronger in there, and it takes time. I think 8-10 year ka bacha bhi will not have a very strong this. So we see, we put kala dhaga, red dhaga, taweez on children for protection. It's for the same reason. Now, as they start growing up, uh, so up to 13, 14 years, their karma story does not come into the picture. So they're not carrying
Okay.
anything from their past life till that time. Once they start growing, they have their own stories and everything, then all of this comes into picture. Till that time, they are really, really vulnerable. Okay, so I would advise, even if your child is fine, and even if you don't believe into all of this, like every Saturday शाम को नजर निकालना, बच्चों की नजर उतारना wouldn't be a bad idea. If your child is small, young, you can do that for your pet also, because pets, they can be considered as small children also for very, very long time. Okay. So now that brings our attention to evil eye and all of that. So when someone's, and we sometimes we also face it, like we go to the function, we wearing a beautiful outfit, we have outdone ourselves than the normal days, and we're looking great. People's eye, their intention, their energy can affect us. Okay. Because not because they are wishing ill for us, maybe 5% of them feeling, wishing ill for us, but 90% of the time, how the energy works is that what we are presenting in that moment. For this example, like you have dressed up so beautifully, you have worn your most precious jewelry. Your presentation is creating a lack in that person. Suddenly they're realizing, oh, I should have dressed up well. Oh, I don't have that set of jewelry. Something within your energy field is creating a lack within them. And that's how you create their nazar, or their intention sticks with you. It's not that everyone is out there to get you. Okay. But this happens subconsciously also. So when we have dressed up, probably, what we can do is really put bhasma on our throat chakra, on our belly, on our crown, just to seal our chakras and to protect ourselves. Bhasma, and not just the agarbatti ka bhasma. Bhasma, something that you have picked up from a good, powerful mandir. We all have our deities and all that we pick from there. So something like that, you can carry crystals. I'm going to extensively talk about crystals. So you can carry those crystals in your pocket, in your inner clothes. For us ladies, it's very, very, very much possible. So we carry those things. And the protection things that we carry always has to be carried waist upward. Okay, nothing in the lower body. That's something which is very important. Um, Sometimes we use silver kadas on the right wrist. That's also for the protection. It's a very strong protection for women. We put bindi. That's also protection for the third eye. Now none of us put bindi, but in times like this, if you are very sensitive to places, and if you're going to a funeral or a mourning place, please put chandan ka tika, or very powerful kumkum from a Devi mandir will keep you safe. So some of these things you can apply it on your children also. And so sandalwood is very, very powerful. So you can do that. Yes, Preeti.
About what about water? If you get water from some mandir, what about that?
Yeah, Ganga Jal and all of that is important. That is,
No, if you
but
get from
normally we
Kali.
use no. Yeah, you can, but normally we use water for releasing and cleansing. But because this is a holy water, you have got it from a temple or a Ganga Jal or something, you can mix it with the kumkum that you bring from Devi Upasana. You can mix it and make a paste of it and put it. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Shakun.
Hi Vinita, I have this question in mind. And जैसे हम लोग का मेरा I have realized at a very specific points in my life I have seen कि अगर if I was working also or प्रमोशन भी हुआ, कुछ छोटा सा भी कुछ एक अच्छा हुआ, या every weekend you go step out with your friends also, and I would come back feeling very sick. Okay. And but yes, despite in these few years that we've been working on the energies, I have understood about all this. पर हम लोग तो बहुत छोटे छोटे, मतलब वी आर बीइंग्स हु मीट इन अ वेरी सोशल, स्मॉल सोशल सर्कल्स. I wanted to know that people who are celebrities or a public figure, the politicians, whoever is in the public eye right now, they have several social events. I mean, they visit at least 1,000 people on a daily basis, go to address a meeting or party, or who are probably CEOs and meeting people on a daily basis. And also like my husband also, he says कि मुझे नहीं फर्क पड़ता, but मुझे लगता है because he meets so many people these days, that I realize that I don't know फर्क पड़ता है कि नहीं, but how do they protect their energy? Because and in public figure, जो हमारे celebrities को हम जिनको idolize भी करते हैं, we do not get to know whether they are affected or not affected. But हम लोग क्योंकि दो लोगों से भी मिलने जाएंगे तो पक्का गला खराब होके आएगा, वैसा होता है, so
So in
it's a
your
very,
one question, there are three questions I hear.
yes, I know.
One about Raghav also, that I'll take it a little later. Let's talk about the celebrities. Okay, they have people like me to back them up. I have a continuous clients,
Amazing.
4 of them with whom I work for all important events. I already know their calendars, and we start working from sometimes 7 days ahead, sometimes 3 days ahead. Okay, so there are certain practices that I do to protect them into such huge event. Now, we should not also forget that their work is very, very difficult for a healer to protect, because उनको भी चाहिए होता है कि the world sees me. So आप सोच रहे हो, it's not that they are not thinking of protecting themselves, they're just thinking कि मुझे unnecessary negativity नहीं चाहिए, but I also want people to see me because it's their profession, right? They are the product, they are the brand name, and if people are not seeing them, then their entire game is over, right? Because they are in that kind of a profession. So these are very specifically curated protective measures that we do. No
Okay.
one has ever asked me, Shakun, this. You are the first one to ask me. It's an amazing, interesting question. Because so we curate their entire, once their schedule comes in, we do it. Sometimes we decide 3 days in advance, sometimes we do it 15 days pehle se, depending on what kind of event they're going. So these are very tricky situations. It's like I can't completely shut them off because they also need that limelight and people to see them. Going back to what your husband is saying, that, oh, मुझे कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. It's true. People who don't believe in, उनको कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. वो स्मशान से भी जाकर आएंगे, they will be as rock solid as the stone. Okay, one, because they don't believe in the energy, they are not sensitive to the energy, they don't know what energy world is. The problem comes in when we are sensitive to the energy, and 85% of the women population has worked with some kind of energy in their past lives, because women hold the energy the best. आप अभी भी देखोगे, जो भी सारे हीलर्स हैं, जो भी वर्कर्स हैं, अच्छे अच्छे योगा टीचर हैं, most of them are women. The capacity that we have to work with energy is outstanding. That is the power that we hold, and that's why the fear-based religion has come in. We have been told that our periods are dirty. I'm not going to slide down into it, otherwise I can still talk for 2 hours. How femininity has been suppressed, and how Shiva and Shakti is the true essence of the world. So we're not getting there. But if I have some of my best sessions when I am menstruating. Okay, so we are very powerful, and to suppress all that, this has been created. So going back to these people, they don't believe into the energy world, so they are useless for the lower vibrational world to attach to them. Because उनके पास कुछ है ही नहीं उनको देने के लिए. They don't have the energy vampires attacking them. They don't have their energy shields breaking. They are of no use to them. Okay. So having that kind of a belief is also a safety in itself.
Wow.
But still, we have some powerful energy workers. Uh, in when we are doing the clearing for the spaces or for the large plots and everything, uh, there are some times that we deal with hundreds of spirits at a time. Open land hai, hundreds of spirit, salo se generation. And when we are clearing the open plots, there are ancestral spirits, there are land spirits. हम बहुत सारी चीजों से deal करते हैं. So it's not that the fear doesn't show up in that time. It does show up. But how you reset your energy in just 1 second is the game. 1 minute भी अगर the fear is covering you, then you become an open field for those entities or those spirits to attach you. So
My
it
God.
comes with a practice. How you reset your mindset, reset your energy. It's not that the fear doesn't creep in. It does, because some places are really creepy. So we have to understand one thing, why this class has been created, so you understand how energy operates, how your personal relationship with the energy is. And the core element is that you don't have to be fearful. The moment you allow the fear to show up in your space, you are bound to get affected. So I have certain things that, which is going to tell you that, oh, you're spiraling down towards fear. I've just collected some symptoms which I am going to talk about. That's a very interesting point. So we're going to understand energy on all layers. So we are always protected, and it just takes a fraction of a second for us to switch our energies. That understanding and awareness is very, very important. Okay, I'll just quickly finish about the energy. So energy, we become sponge not because we are weak, but because we are open without being trained in how energy truly works. So that this class is going to take away that from you. So now you guys are going to be trained. Most people are, and we have heard this. It's also because of the horror movie that we see, the social medias, and all that novels that we indulge into. There was this time I used to consume horror novels and movies like anybody's business, like nobody's business. So what happens is that fear is created, so we have always been taught, because of how the narration of that story happens, that you have to protect yourself. You have to protect yourself. Even our elders have said ki, Amavasya ke din bahar nahi jate, you can't go out on Grahan days and all of that. It's a kind of a slightly fear-based situations. Okay, there is a science behind it, why we don't step out of it. No one tells you that you don't step out on these Grahan days because the sun rays are bad. Okay, but there is a fear is been created. Now, why fear has been created? Because not everyone is ready to listen. So sometimes the fear stops them from getting hurt. That works. Sometimes the fear is created because someone wants a power on you, or sometimes the fear is created for children to protect them in all situations. Because every time the child is not going to tell you that, oh, it's going to go into that deserted well and do what. So parents sometimes use it. So everything is actually fair, but if we have grown up and we are understanding, we have to realize that something was used to protect us for not hurting ourselves. But still the fear is created. Krishna, I'll take your question a little later. Let me finish this. So the fear is created. Fear is the ingredient that we should conquer, become aware of. Then we are, really good into our space. Okay. So most people are taught protection as reaction. Okay. Something feels wrong and we start cleansing. Something feels very heavy, we begin to shield. But overdoing is also putting you back into the energy spiral. I mean, sorry, fear spiral. Okay, तो आप बहुत protect कर रहे हो, you telling your body that I'm not safe, I'm not safe, I'm not safe, I have to cleanse, I have to protect myself, I have to cleanse. You constantly telling your subconscious mind that I am not safe. So be very, very clear about it. There are certain days that I have mentioned, I will be discussing. Those are the certain days when you do the cleansing and clearing, and rest of the days you say, I am safe and I'm not going to get affected. That kind of a confidence can be built slowly. Yeah. Okay. All right. So Yeah. So when we are constantly feeling heavy and working from the defense, our system is absolutely, is always on the alert. It's always checking and on guard. Just give me a minute.